Hello everyone and welcome to Retail Archaeology. This week's episode is going to be a little bit of a variety episode. We're going to be taking a look at some restaurant and retail things that I filmed in Las Vegas that wouldn't really make for a great video on their own, but I still wanted to show everybody. So first we're going to take a look at this food court that's on the new strip in Vegas, and this is really interesting because it's a mall-style food court, but it's not attached to a mall or anything. So we'll go ahead and take this escalator up to the food court, and as you can see while we're going up, there are a lot of like 80s and 90s aesthetics here. You've got the brass along the escalators there, and also you can see there is lots of neon lights in this food court as we get up there. And right as we get into it, we can see there's a Panda Express, and then right next to it is a Del Taco. There is quite a bit of just your kind of standard mall food court stuff in here. It's pretty interesting. And I love all the green and red neon lights. Right across there, there's a Sbarro Pizza, which you don't see very many of those anymore, so it's kind of cool to see one here. But yeah, as you can see, it looks just like a standard mall food court that was built sometime in the 90s, but it's not attached to a mall. I just thought it was kind of weird and interesting. Of course, there are tons of neon lights because it's Vegas, but it is, like I said, giving it a very old school retro mall feel as well. And of course, every mall food court's got to have a Subway. It seems like a lot of them do. I'm not sure when this food court was built, but I know it's been here for a lot of years because I remember walking past it all the time, but I've never actually been up into it until now. It's really cool too how they have a bunch of seats right up against the window so you can look out into the Las Vegas Strip. It's a little bit boring during the day, but this food court's open 24 hours, so you can be up here at night and see all the neon lights and all the glitz and stuff of the Las Vegas Strip. I should mention all of this footage was filmed during our trip to Las Vegas back in December of 2019, so you don't have to fear I'm not being stupid and going out and filming or traveling or doing anything during all of this mess. The good news is I still have plenty of footage in the can, so you'll still be seeing new videos even though I'm not able to go out and travel. Now let's take a look at this designer shoe warehouse or DSW location that was right next to the food court we just looked at. This is a concept store that they opened in August of 2018. And the first thing that you see when you walk in, or I guess kind of approach the entrance to the store, is this amazing video wall. That almost looks like I added it in post-production. That just looks really awesome. That's just a wall that you see right when you walk in, which then leads down to an escalator that goes into like a basement type thing where the store actually is. So let's go ahead and take the escalator down into the store. And as you can see, for the most part, it kind of looks like a regular DSW. They did note that this store is about half the size of their normal stores when it opened. There's another big video wall type thing there right in front. And you can see the Christmas trees there because this was filmed in December. Part of this store's concept is this shoe vader thing that they have on one of the walls. And the way it works is you can either use your phone or you can use this tablet they have set up. And you can peruse different shoes they have in their catalog and pick a pair out and enter it, and then employees in the back will package it all up and it goes through this shoe vader thing where you get it. Unfortunately, it didn't seem to be working while we were here. I don't know if DSW opened any other stores after this that followed the same concept with the video wall and things, but I think this location's pretty neat. Now that we've looked at a food court and a retail store, let's take a look at something else that often appears in my videos, fountains. And this is a awesome fountain that you can walk all the way through. Now I wish I could have the ambient fountain noises, but unfortunately there was licensed music playing over outdoor speakers while I was here and it triggered the YouTube copyright bots. So we'll just have to deal with the background music that I have added. But like I said, these fountains were really amazing. I'm a sucker for cool and unique water features, and Las Vegas is definitely packed with those. Now I think it's time for some of the old Retail Archaeology fountain cam. Now, like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, this was filmed in December, and it was freakishly cold. It was getting down to the low 20s at night, and it really wasn't warm during the day either. I think it was in the 40s when I did this, so this water was freezing cold. My hands were pretty much numb when I was done filming this, but I do it all for you. So hopefully you guys enjoy looking at the insides of fountains. That one's actually not that interesting though. I thought it would look more interesting than that. Now what's even better about this fountain is how it looks in the evening. There's all kinds of lighting features and things going on. And as you'll see as we walk through again, the water changes all kinds of awesome colors. Especially a big fan of the purples and blues that it turns. This was located right outside the Park MGM, which is one of the newer hotels on the new strip. So if you want to check it out for yourself, just go kind of wander around over there and you'll find it. Now this real quick is a shop called Stupid Idiotic. Unfortunately it was closed, but I had remembered it from my last trip and I wanted to film it, but they were closed for the night. But I think it's pretty hilarious to see a giant neon sign flashing saying Stupid Idiotic. Now this next place we're going to look at is House of Gaga, I think that's how that's pronounced. And this is kind of a Lady Gaga museum and store that they have in the Park MGM. There's lots of different things from her music videos, like costumes. That egg thing that we just saw, I think she rode into one of the Grammy Awards shows with that. And as we pan over to the left, you can kind of see the shop area where they've just got, you know, souvenirs and Lady Gaga t-shirts and things like that. And of course, they're blasting very loud Lady Gaga music throughout this place. Now, I'm not a huge Lady Gaga fan or anything, but I will say I do think she is fairly talented. And I love the way that they've displayed a lot of her costumes and things for music videos. This, from what I understand, is some cigarette sunglasses that were used in the Telephone music video. I don't think I ever saw that one. It's kind of interesting, though. I wonder if those are real cigarettes. This was probably my favorite thing in the whole place, this xenomorph-esque type sparkling suit. I don't know when or what she wore this for, but as being a huge fan of aliens, I love this thing. It's a rhinestone alien nightmare. Look at the heels, I guess, or the toes, I guess, on those, the high toe shoes. Those look awful to wear. And these are kind of gross. These are some sort of flesh high heels that she wore. Ugh, it's creepy. But from what I read, House of Gaga is like her design label, basically. It's where they do all kinds of weird things, make all these weird things that she wears. So it's kind of interesting to see them all displayed. Now this is something else interesting we found. This is a Hello Kitty cafe. And there aren't many of these around. There's this location here, which is semi-permanent. And then there's another truck, I guess, that parks around the Vegas Strip. And then there's a Hello Kitty cafe in Irvine, California, from what I read. Take a quick look at the menu here. And as you can see, they offer mostly hot and cold drinks. They've got donuts, pastries, cookies, those kinds of things. As well as a lot of Hello Kitty and Sanrio souvenirs and merchandise. Wasn't very busy, though. I was kind of surprised. I thought it would be busier. The line queue has all of these interesting info cards that kind of tell you some interesting facts and history about all the Sanrio characters. I remember my daughter had a Hello Kitty face for about 3 months when she was little. Now she's very about it. I always thought the Sanrio stuff was kind of cute, though. I'm surprised there aren't more of these Hello Kitty cafe type things around the United States. You know, Sanrio stuff is pretty big here, and they even have Sanrio stores in some of the malls here. Figured though we could take a moment and kind of walk through the queue and just, you know, check out some of these fun facts. This is a character I'm not familiar with, My Melody. I'm kind of only familiar with Hello Kitty, Keroppi, and then Bats Maru. Speaking of Bats Maru, they have an info card for him over here as well. I will say the smells of the stuff coming out of this place smell really good. Very, very sweet and rich, but good. We didn't get anything from here, though, because we had just eaten, and I had also just drank a huge coffee, so none of this sounded good at the time. But I'm sure it's fantastic. You can take a closer look at some of their items here they have on display. You can see some of the cookies and pastries and cupcakes and things. And, of course, they're all Hello Kitty themed. You know, if they had a t-shirt or something with Bats Maru on there and it was in my size, I might have actually bought it. Now this next place I want to show you is one of my favorite places in all of Las Vegas. It is the Pinball Hall of Fame. Now I'm sure you've heard me go on and wax nostalgic about mall arcades, so you can imagine this place is always high on my list to visit. The Pinball Hall of Fame has a staggering amount of pinball machines from all throughout the years. This place is like church for me. This aisle of games is all EM machines, or electromechanical, which means they don't have any solid-state electronics in it. It's all relays and switches and scoring reels and bells and all that kind of stuff, and I just love it. As well as the pinball machines, they do have a really good collection of retro arcade games as well. They've got a couple of them throughout the rows and then like one whole wall in the back of them. I love how dimly lit this place is. It's just perfect. Now this game, Star Trek, is one of my all-time favorite arcade games and probably my favorite vector graphics-based game. You can see the photon and thruster buttons there, and then you use this little dial on your other hand there to spin the ship around. God, look at those beautiful vector graphics. I mean, the Sega logo is already amazing, but in vector graphics like that, just magnificent. I pumped a lot of quarters into this while we were here. Now here's a great machine. This is Whoa Nelly, Big Juicy Melons. That's awful. This is actually a fairly fun game, though, even though it's a modern pinball machine. The table layout's kind of more like a classic pinball machine from the 70s. Tons of innuendo there. It's a whole pinball game based on melons. And I just noticed that ripe and ready line there. So the whole game is Whoa Nelly, Big Juicy Melons, ripe and ready. Perfect. And it's right next to a bunch of old pinball machines. I just love this place.
Yeah, I'm gonna pan.
As well as pinball machines, they have a lot of other great like electromechanical coin-operated equipment. This is a little baseball game, and I really like the old baseball-based pinball games. But this one's even kind of more interesting. It's almost like pachinko. You use the little lever to flip the ball around, and you can see the base runners there lighting up and advancing. What a neat little baseball machine. Now this thing is really neat. This is an old-fashioned Nickelodeon machine. And not Nickelodeon the TV channel, like an actual Nickelodeon machine. These were very old, maybe 100-year-old machines where you could put a nickel in it and watch a quote-unquote video or movie. You'll see how it works here in a second because I'm going to film the whole thing. But it's not even really a movie. It's basically a lit-up flip book that you're looking at, and this is of a famous boxing match from the 1920s. I love that you can hear, if you listen, you can hear the cards flipping. But this was entertainment. Oh, over 100 years ago. Now that I'm thinking about it, I think these are from like the late 1800s. Oh, is he gonna get back? Is he back up? Nope, he's down. And there you go. You got to watch a famous 1920s boxing bout on an old-fashioned Nickelodeon. And before we leave here, we've got to check out more of the arcade games and look at all the old stuff that I used to play at the mall when I was a kid, like Super Punch-Out there. I did play a lot of pinball machines at the mall too. Oh, and there's Joust. That's a fantastic game. If you want to see more of this place, I've actually done a whole video on this place previously. It came out a couple of years ago. So it's an older video on my channel, but I'll put a link to it down in the description if you want to check it out. I love on these older machines how they have the info cards explaining the history of them. If you're ever in Las Vegas and you need a little bit of a break from all the debauchery, this is definitely the perfect place to check out. I know this video is a little different than my normal videos, but we filmed a lot of stuff in Vegas, and a lot of it was little things, so I kind of wanted to just pack all of those in one video and kind of get that all out in one shot. There are some more malls and other things we filmed while in Vegas, so you'll be seeing those videos in the coming weeks. Now we'll go ahead and wrap the video up with something else Las Vegas is famous for, some booty. Really though, this was just an amazing sculpture that we saw right outside the T-Mobile Arena, and I filmed a little bit of footage of it real quick, so I figured it'd be a good way to wrap the video up since it's the tail end of the video. Haha, stupid. Anyways, like I said, I hope you guys have all enjoyed this video of weird and interesting retail and restaurant things in Las Vegas. As always, everyone, thanks for watching. Want to see your name here? Head on over to patreon.com/retailarchaeology to find out how you can help support the channel. Hey everyone, thanks for checking out my video on weird and interesting crap in Las Vegas. If you enjoyed it, make sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons, and also make sure to follow at those social media links down there, especially Twitter, because I've been posting polls recently on what videos I should edit and work on next. So if you want to have a say in that, just follow me over on Twitter.